The dark curse is the blueprint for something wonderful.
After 7 seasons, Once Upon a Time has come to a close, so let's talk about that ending right here on What Happened. What's going on, Oncers? Lisa here for, I guess, the last time, unless someone decides to do another spinoff of Once Upon a Time or reboot it down the line. I just want to say thanks to you guys for being patient with me. This has been a crazy weekend, so I just got around to finally watching the finale and writing all of this and getting ready to talk about it. As far as this finale goes, I feel like at times it was a little hectic, parts were a tad confusing maybe, but ultimately I felt like it was a pretty happy ending, pretty satisfying, and it leaves it kind of open-ended. Plus, we got to see a lot of familiar faces back, and that is always a plus. So how does the show end? With an epic death and everyone coming together for a happy ending, or rather a happy beginning. So let's break this finale down. Last episode, we left off with Alice and Robin heading to Storybrooke to get some help. Well, let's just say that you never come between a man and his favorite sandwich in all of the realms. Alice and Robin arrive in front of Granny's and encounter residents like Leroy, Archie, and Granny, but the welcome isn't so warm, especially since they made Leroy drop his lunch. Alice and Robin are chased off with weapons and hide until they spot Regina's car. In it, though, are Zelena and a 5-year-old Robin. And remember, this is Storybrooke Zelena, not the Hyperion Heights future Zelena we saw earlier this season that left to go back to San Francisco to be with Chad. Zelena thinks they're there to kind of gawk at her and that she's famous and they want an autograph from the Wicked Witch of the West. But when Robin starts rattling off things that sound super weird to Zelena and then things that a stranger shouldn't know about her, Zelena's like, hold up, no, it's time to go. But Robin continues talking and convinces Zelena that she is who she says she is and tells her to go get the magic bean that she's been hiding in the cupboard because they need her help. Meanwhile, Lucy, Ella, Hook, and I guess maybe I should actually go back to calling him Wish Hook for this episode, Wish Hook, Rumple, and Henry reunite inside the snow globe. Because of Wish Rumple's new story he started, Rumple no longer has his powers or immortality. He can no longer stop Wish Rumple, and he knows that Wish Rumple will use his new power to drag everyone into the darkness, but leave it to Wish Hook to give a pep talk about not giving up. So Wish Hook and Rumple head back into the snow to try to find a weakness in the glass of the globe. Nothing is working, and then we have this sweet moment between Wish Hook and Rumple when Wish Hook asks why Rumple didn't destroy him if he had all these powers. And Rumple says it's because Wish Hook was the closest thing he's ever had to a friend. Yeah, it's the first of many times they're going to try to break our hearts in this episode. But like in a good way, I guess, of sorts. Then all of a sudden, Maui's hook appears and they use it to break everyone out of the snow globe. That hook appeared thanks to the magic of Alice, as Alice, Robin, and Zelena are standing there waiting for this group to get out of the snow globe. They know that Wish Henry is planning to get his revenge on Regina, so they're off to find her while Rumple goes to search the castle for something that can maybe help him with this Wish Rumple problem. Meanwhile, Wish Henry brings Regina to the spot in the castle where she killed his grandparents, and man, this is a little angry, bitter guy who wants revenge. Regina tries to tell this Wish Henry how she's no longer the evil queen, she's changed, it's possible, and in another realm, she's actually his mother and loves him, and she wants to save him. But he says that she still killed his grandparents, so she's pretty much screwed. He plans to fight her the next day so he can have his happy ending. Oh, and he decides to give her a little taste of what's to come with that by slicing her hand with his dagger. Regina's blood on that dagger actually proves to be very important. It is a key piece in Wish Rumple's plan. He tells Wish Henry that he's been busy bringing a ton of new storybooks for all the characters. He also brings in the Wish Realm version of Blue Fairy to demonstrate his point of what can happen when Henry combines the power of his emotions with Regina's blood. He can make what's in those storybooks come true, and they will basically send all of the characters off to live in solitary confinement of sorts. Henry actually makes it happen with the Blue Fairy, and now all he has to do is kill Regina and everyone's fate will be sealed with her blood. We then see that Regina is locked up and having a dream where she's reunited with Robin, who pretty much gives Regina a loving pep talk that she needed, telling her that she is the one who knows best that people can change, and she needs to find a way to show Wish Henry that no one's path is set and everyone can basically change for the better. She of course wishes their story together hadn't been so short, and he says it may have been short, but it wasn't any less epic. True that, right? They share a kiss and he puts something in her hand, and when she wakes up, she has a little red robin feather with her because basically he's always with her. On the outside of the prison, daughter Robin and Wish Hook are trying to figure out how to create a diversion with the guards so Henry can sneak in to get Regina. Poor Wish Hook's heart, though, is getting worse by the minute because of his proximity to Alice, so Robin decides she has to take this second to ask Wish Hook a pretty big question because she doesn't know how much longer he's going to live, so she doesn't know if she'll have the chance again. She decides to ask him for Alice's hand in marriage. carriage, and Wish Hook proudly gives it to her. She also says that no matter what, he's going to find a way to walk her down the aisle. Hook then goes and charges the guards, and Henry makes it into the prison and is about to grab the keys when, unfortunately, more guards show up. As he's about to get bested, 2 other masked guards show up, but surprise, they're not actual guards. They're on his side and they shoot the guard holding Henry. So who are behind the masks? Good old Snow and Charming. They then gather everyone at the round table and show everyone Wish Rumple's storybooks that they found while searching for Regina. Everyone takes a look at the endings and realizes, yeah, that's not a good ending they want to be seen made a reality. Leave it to good old Snow, though, to give a rousing optimistic charm about love, hope, and everything warm and fuzzy, and how if they all band together with love and stuff, they can conquer this Wish Rumple and persevere. So they head off with Zelena to visit all the other realms to remind them to not lose hope, belief, and love and stuff, and prepare them, while Regina goes to find Wish Henry and the others go to find Rumple and Wish Rumple. During all of this, Rumple has been searching the castle for a way to stop Wish Rumple. He takes a moment, though, to gaze into a dream catcher which shows him his wedding with Belle, and that's when he kind of really accepts that he's kind of failed to get back to her and he knows that he can't earn his way back. It's him kind of accepting that whole sad event, or sad situation. When the others find him, Rumple has a plan, though. He's found a little bit of magic that Wish Rumple left hidden, so Rumple plans to use it to rip out Wish Rumple's heart. Wish Rumple then appears and says it's too late, as we see our characters standing around a table that has each of those new storybooks on it. Out in the woods, Regina finds Wish Henry, and she again tries to tell him there's a version of his family out there that can help him, like they helped her become good, and all this kind of stuff to try to get him to change his mind. But Wish Henry, he still wants to kill her with a vengeance. They begin to fight, and as that is happening, the dark portals for each of the other characters start to open, and it starts to pull them towards their unfortunate, not happy ending inside of those books. So they all latch onto the table to clinging on for dear life. Wish Henry eventually disarms Regina and has her right where he wants her. She pretty much says that she's okay with him killing her, because if she has to go out showing him that there's people who will love him no matter what he does, then for her it's a worthy ending. And then she just kind of gives him this loving gaze, and it finally gets through to Wish Henry, and he drops the sword and the portals close and they hug. Now our characters in the other room are back safely on their feet on the ground, but the damage has already been done, unfortunately. You see Wish Hook grabbed Alice's hand to try to keep her from going into the portal, pretty much ruining his heart to the max. His heart is giving out, and after a tussle with Wish Rumple, Rumple realizes just what he has to do. There is only one way to put an end to all this, so Rumple uses his magic hand not to rip out Wish Rumple's heart, but to rip out his own heart, and he then gives it to Wish Hook to cure him. Yeah, Rumple made an ultimate sacrifice so that Wish Hook and Alice could finally be together again. When Regina rejoins the group, she gives Rumple a really sweet send-off, and we see that Rumple indeed has gotten his happy ending after all and is reunited with Belle, and she's even in that iconic yellow dress. Back at the castle, the Henrys ask Regina what's next now, and she's like, you know what, I think it's time for another curse. And they're all like, hold up, wait a minute, we do not need any more curses. But thankfully, this is not a dark curse. The dark curse was actually just a blueprint for something else. She ends up making a happy curse that will bring all the realms together in Storybrooke, so there's no more separation. So yes, that means both Henrys will exist together. Kinda trippy still, right? We then pick up sometime later after the curse has been cast, and all the realms are together in Storybrooke as we see Oz and the royal castle and everything right next door to our beloved town. Regina and Zelena are then driving off somewhere, and there is a line here that's kind of an Easter egg just thrown in, I think, to close a storyline that was, left open a long time ago. It's about Lily's father. So if you've spent many seasons wondering who Lily's father was, they say that it is Zorro, who happens to be a dragon. Well, Regina keeps asking where she's going, and it turns out to be a surprise. Regina is joined by both Henrys, and I'm guessing that means that when the realms were merged together, it was the version of Storybrooke where Henry is the adult version that we know from Hyperion Heights, and that whole timeline situation was fixed. So this other young Henry we see is Wish Realm Henry, who has a little sheriff's badge on his vest, so it seems like he's happy again and using those fighting skills he has for good. Or maybe it's a deputy badge, I don't know. Anyway, the two Henrys escort Regina to where all the characters from all the realms are waiting for her, including Wish Hook, Alice, and Robin, and it seems like those two do have rings on their finger, but we don't know really if they're actually just engaged or married, because we don't see any nuptials, which would have been kind of cool to see. Besides those guys, there's a lot of other familiar faces in the room, and standing front and center are Snow, Charming, and Neil waiting for Regina. So what is this big surprise? It's actually Regina's coronation. You see, they decided that someone needed to lead everyone with these new combined realms, and Regina is the one everyone elected to do it. When Regina asks if everyone is there, Snow does say that she thinks the baby was fussy, which they don't say names, but it alludes to the fact that we haven't seen Hook, Emma, and baby Hope yet, So that means they're the ones that are missing that are being discussed here. The ceremony must go on though, and just as Snow and Charming are about to put the crown on Regina's head, in true Emma fashion, complete with that red leather jacket, she and Hook come busting with baby Hope, saying they wouldn't miss this. But honestly, in this moment, all I was kind of staring at and chuckling about was the baby's safety stopper thing on the end of Hook's hook. It is baby-proof Hook, and I love it. Anyway, the ceremony continues, and Regina is crowned the Good Queen, and when Emma asks if this is her happy ending, this is what Regina says.
This isn't an ending. I hate endings. Because then your story's done. And everyone here, well, their stories are far from over.
We then get some flashbacks from the show throughout the years, both happy and sad, and we end the show with some shots of iconic places and things in Storybrooke, and then the leaving Storybrooke sign, hence the name of the episode. So basically, Rumpel died but got his happy ending, our Wish Realm characters seem to have gotten their happy endings, all of our realms are reunited, and Regina is not the evil queen anymore, but the Good Queen. But what this means is that a lot of characters have doubles, or maybe even more than doubles, running around this whole place. Does that not get confusing? Ultimately, though, it seems like everyone is happy, and of course, there are some open endings that if they ever wanted to do a spin-off or continue someone's storyline, like even Regina's, they could. I would vote for all Regina's show or an Alice and Robin spin-off or something like that. Now, the creators did say many times they weren't going to tie up every loose end the show ever had, so there are still some unanswered things that you're probably still wondering about. For me, one of the things from this season is like, does Zelina still live in San Francisco with Chad? And does she just come to visit Storybrooke for, you know, these big events like the coronation? Or did she bring Chad to Storybrooke with her? Because it seemed like Chad was her happy ending. This new curse, did it bring all the bad people in each realm too? Because you know there's still got to be bad people out there in this realm. I'm overall though satisfied with the ending of the show. Sure, season 6's ending was probably a bit better and it would have been fine if the show ended there, but with the way that they went with season 7, I think contained it was kind of its own good thing, maybe. I could be unpopular opinion here, but I think that it wrapped up very nicely. There's plenty more stories that they could tell at some point. And Regina, she just is really happy. She seems so happy. She got a nice moment with Robin to close that chapter, and now she's the Good Queen and is still getting to rule, but in a better way. And yeah, she just seems happy, and I loved that whole arc for her. She's honestly one of my favorite characters on TV in a long time. I'm also happy for Rumpel and that he got a great happy ending as well, because he basically had kind of the same arc as Regina in a sense, and they both played it so well. So yeah, that's it, I guess, guys. That's the end of Once Upon a Time as we know it for now. Pretty much most of the characters got their happy endings, which I think is a pretty satisfying thing, right? But yeah, that's the end of Once Upon a Time, right, guys? 7 seasons of a crazy show with fairy tales and fun. So it's now your time to hit up the comments down below. What did you think of the season 7 finale, the series ending? Do you still prefer the season 6 ending? Are you okay with how this season ended and had wrapped up the entire show? If there was a spin-off, what would you like to see happen? What is the one main unanswered question you wish you had an answer to? Leave all your thoughts about Once Upon a Time and even your happy memories and how it maybe, you know, spoke to you as a viewer down in the comments. And thanks for hanging out with me. I know I only recapped season 7 of Once Upon a Time. That's because I was, you know, pretty new to doing recaps when this season started, so I figured fresh start, let's do it. But thanks for hanging out with me. It's been so much fun hanging with you Oncers. Thanks for accepting me, and yeah, hopefully we'll find a new good show to talk about very, very soon. But until then, you can check out more of my videos right over here. Subscribe if you like what you see. I'll be here talking about nerdy things all the time. My name's Lisa. Thanks for again. I said it a million times. See you later.